Welcome back to the Tired Kids podcast. This week we're looking back at a tough 12-6 loss to the Knights, putting someone in the bin, checking out the team list for this week's clash against the bottom of the table Dragons, and giving our tips for the weekend. But before we get started, we've got some exciting news. The Tired Kids podcast officially has its first sponsor. A huge thank you to Fly Connect for jumping on board. Thanks for supporting the podcast. Now let's do this.
Now it's time for our game review. Unfortunately, it wasn't the result we wanted. With it being 12-6. But yeah, let's go on to our try scorers this week. The try scorers, not many here. We had the Knights scored 2, Dylan Lucas in the 53rd and Bradman Best in the 74th, and then we had one Tony Sukar in the 10th. Caleb Ponga kicked for 2 from 2, and Dewey kicked 1 from 1. And also with the it was a real arm wrestle, and our defense was I reckon pretty good. We couldn't find the points when we needed them. There were chances that we had, but the Knights took the better of theirs. And there's good news this week. We have a new segment called Fly Connect Play of the Game, and I reckon we could also get another chance with the Dragons. That's it for game review. Now it's time for
Fly Connect Play of the Game. Play of the Game thanks to Fly Connect. Experience seamless airport transfers from Lake Macquarie, Newcastle, and the Central Coast to Newcastle Airport, Sydney Airports, and Sydney Cruise Terminals. Plus, if you mention the Tired Kids podcast when you book, you'll get 10% off your transfer.
this week's Fly Connect Play of the Game goes to the first one ever, Adam Dewey. Early in the game, Dane Gagai was certain to score a try after making a break. But Dewey absolutely came from nowhere and just said, yeah, I'll take that ball, ripped it away from him, and full on made a certain Knights try into the Tigers ball, and Dewey unfortunately got tackled, but we did score that set off Tony Sukar's brilliant try. But yeah, it was a brilliant 101 strip that showed plenty of determination in that. But yeah, that's it for the first Fly Connect Play of the Game. We'll have another one next week. Oh, every week, and how long we have this one for. But yeah, that's it for this week's Play of the Game. Now it's time for this. Now it's time for the 10 in the bin this week. Remember to keep sending your nominations through our Instagram DMs and voice notes. This week's 10 in the bin goes to the referee, Peter Goff. A player that makes a 70-metre break, like Maxini did, and gets dragged down by a professional foul. And we all get and all we get is a 6 again? Come on, that's a penalty every day of the week. And probably 10 minutes in the Sid bin as well. Peter Goff, this week you're straight in the bin this time. You're not sending someone, you're going in it. That's it for our oh my god, I can't speak. 10 in the bin this week. Now it's time for this. Now it's time for team lists this week. 5:30 p.m. Dragons versus West Tigers at St George Venues, Jubilee Stadium, Cogra. Whatever, it's the longest stadium name in the whole history. But yeah, Dragons team list first. Mitchell, what is it?
Fullback Clint Gutherson, Setu 2 on the wing, as well as Tyrell Sloan, Matthew Feeney and Valentine Holmes in centres, Daniel Atkinson and Kyle Flanagan in the halves, Locker Jr., Pacific Tonga, as prop, the other prop, Toby Couchman, Damien Cook at hooker and captain, Dylan Egan and Hamish Stewart in second row, Ryan Couchman at lock, Jacob Little at 14, Luciano Leilua at 15, both ex-Tigers, Josh Kerr at 16, Emre Gula at 17, Jacob Halangahu at 18, Larkin King Tonga at 19, Hame Sele at 20, Moses Sully at 21, and Christian Tuipulotu at 22 with the coach Dean Young.
And now it's time for our West Tigers team. We have in the fullback, we have Jareem Buller, two wingers, Sunir Taruva and Jarrell Skelton. Our centres, Hamasi Makasini and Stafford Toa. Our halves, Jock Madden and Adam Dewey. Into our forwards, we have Terrell May and Fanua Paul in prop. And then Apsai Coruscant in hooker, with Apsai Coruscant being absolutely robbed by not warming the chair up in the state of Origin as much. His bum didn't warm it up. There's not enough. So Laurie Daly said, yeah, you're not in the side anymore. Even though he didn't play a single minute. Anyways, into our 2 second rows, Tony Suka and Sione Fainu. Number lock. Great. I love a number lock. Into our lock, we have Alex Twa coming back, I think. Yeah. Into our interchanges, number 14, Jusesi Lanyon. Number 15, Bunty Fall. Number 16, Alex Seyfarth. Number 17, Latu Fainu. Number 18, Farlinto Tavana / Tino Tavana, however you say his first name anyways. And then number 19, Charlie Murray. Into our reserves, we got number 20, Javon Andrews, number 21, Heath Mason, and number 22, Maverick Geyer. And with our coach being Benji Marshall and our referee, Todd Smith. That's it for our team list this week. Now it's time for this. Now it's time for our tips this week. We have tomorrow, since it's a bye round, at 8 o'clock at Combank Stadium, Panthers versus Rabbitohs. I took the Panthers by 6.
I took the Panthers by 4.
And then we have on Saturday, the Dragons, Tigers, the best game of the week, apart from ours. But, I took the Tigers.
I also took the Tigers. Pretty obvious.
Yeah, and then Broncos, Sharks. I took the I say 5:30 at Jubilee Oval in Utah. And then Broncos, Sharks at 7:30, 7:35 or whatever, Suncorp Stadium. And then, who'd you say you tipped for the Broncos, Sharks?
I tipped the Sharks.
Ooh, I haven't gone the same. You went Penrith and then Tigers. And you went Sharks, not Broncos. And the last 2 games on Sunday at 2 o'clock, Combank Stadium. I can't speak today. The Eels versus the Seagulls. I tipped the Seagulls.
I also tipped the Seagulls. Pretty obvious. Eels will never win again.
And then Knights, Dolphins. I tipped the Knights.
I tipped the Dolphins.
And pretty different tips. And that's it for our tips this week. Now it's time for bold prediction. That's right, me. It's time for bold prediction. We'll check up on. Oh wait, no, we didn't have bold predictions last week. I don't know what they were 2 weeks ago. It doesn't matter now. But anyways, we'll just go with this week's bold prediction. I'm just too used to just saying that. Anyways, but this week's bold prediction, Mitchell. What's your bold prediction?
That if they play, either Josh Schuster or Junior Topu will score in New South Wales Cup.
And then mine is Jareem Buller to score a double against the Dragons. I reckon he might just have the power. Clint Gutherson sucks when he makes the break. Jareem Buller's too fast, so yeah. And I reckon when he scores it, Clint Gutherson and Moses in the crowd's going to start putting their arms up. It's like at Campbelltown, even though it's not like Campbelltown, like there's guys on West Leagues that sometimes they blow up things. But anyways, that's it for our bold prediction this week. Now it's time for this. That's it for our Tiger Kids podcast this week. Next week, we'll be hoping to celebrate a huge Tigers win over the Dragons and have plenty more positives to talk about. Thanks again to our very first sponsor, Fly Connect, for supporting the Tiger Kids podcast. Can't speak either. But yeah, remember if you mention Tiger Kids in the booking, you'll get 10% off. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and send in your 10 in the bin nominations in our Instagram DMs or voice notes. Claws out, Tigers fans!
Peace.